program that we're going to work on this year. It's something we thought we really needed to do. We've been working real hard over the last couple of years during the pandemic to get out and visit our units to make sure that they're doing okay, check on the retention of their kids, the quality of their program. But I don't know that we've gotten out enough to really tell them what's going on and to say thank you. So that's a big part of what we're trying to do here. The Boy Scouts of America started an ambassador program a couple years ago to share information, share news with units. We've utilized that a little bit, but we want to take it to the next step this year. We actually want to set up presentations, very short presentations with all of our units, and then have ambassadors, some of our good volunteers, just like all of you, go into the unit, do a quick 5 to 8 minute presentation, and then really just have a chance to say thank you, and then pass out some information, share a little bit of information about our camp programs going on, district services, council services that are going on. Make sure that the units are up to speed on all of that, and again, just to say thank you to them, and we'll run through all that as well. So with that said, what we're going to do tonight, the agenda that we put in the into the calendar invite, we're going to talk a little bit about the ambassador role, and then talk a little bit about the presentations, what we're looking for there, some of the things like just double checking with the unit to make sure we have date, time, location correct. And then talk a little bit about some of the support materials, some of the things that we'll be handing out for camp promotions, and then a charter presentation that we want to do as well. And then we'll have some Q&A questions at the end as well. Really, as I mentioned before, the purpose of the program is to say thank you to our units and really share with them some of the important things going on in each of your districts and then throughout the council. As we have developed the council fee a little bit more, we feel it's also important to make sure that units understand what's included with that. Some of the no-cost district events, what's included with training, the rank advancements, all those types of things. We want to make sure that units are aware of that as well. We also want to talk a little bit about volunteerism with the units and making sure they understand how important that is. I'm sure they already do as they try to continue to get more parents to step up and help. And I think we can help with that a little bit at these presentations too, and just explain how important it is that we do have volunteers at all levels, including the unit. Again, I mentioned before, I did send out the calendar invite. There's a job description in your packet. There's also a couple of the camp promotion informational pieces, and then a script that we put together for each of you to use, and we'll talk about that here shortly as well. One last thing that we are looking to do as part of this presentation is we want to do a charter presentation. So it's something we used to do where the charters were printed and then mailed out to everyone, and now with the new membership system and how everything works, units print those on their own. But we thought it'd be a nice touch if we have the ability, we'll print it for them, and then if we can do this presentation, we can actually present the charter to the unit as well. I think that'll be kind of a neat thing. I don't think a lot of units have done that on their own, and definitely haven't had the district or the council come in and do that. And last thing is, be positive, have fun with this. We're pretty excited about this. This obviously takes a lot of volunteers, and can't thank you enough again for volunteering to do this. But I think this will be a fun volunteer position and a job for everyone. I know a lot of you are adding this on top of what you're already doing, but hopefully you can help us out with a few of these presentations and have a little bit of fun with it. Maybe take an opportunity to go visit one of your scouting friends in another unit and do the presentation for them, or a unit that maybe you were associated with in the past in Cub Scouts, or a prospective crew that you might be going to with your kids, and maybe that's a good way to do it as well. All right, just recap real quick on that job description that's in there. For the position responsibilities, I'll run through those real quick. Attend a training in January. We're doing that tonight, so number 1 is done. And then work with your district team to reach out to a few units and secure presentation dates, preferably like a court of honor or blue and gold ceremony, something like that, where we will have the most amount of parents and participants in the audience. Your districts have already been sending out invites for these presentations, and we have, I think, well over 50 presentations already scheduled, and a bunch of them coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited about that. I think units have taken this as a good opportunity to invite the districts and council in. Attend these presentations as needed or what you're available to do. We'd ask maybe to do three at least, or 5, but you can do as few as you'd like, as many as you'd like. Work with your district teams on that. It really comes down to what your availability is and what you're comfortable with. And then, we're going to provide the recognition to the unit, that charter presentation. So as we get these scheduled, we'll print out those charters and make sure that's available for you. We'll make sure that we have the handouts and everything for you as well. Answer any questions that they may have that night. Be positive, and then have fun. And hopefully we can work through these presentations here over the next 2.5 months or so. Let's talk a little bit about the unit presentation. And let me grab the script. Okay. So a couple things. We got to work with the unit. So once we get it scheduled, as I said, the districts have sent out all the information. They're working on scheduling right now. Once you get connected with the district and you volunteer for 1 or 2 units, one thing we want to do is a couple weeks out from the presentation, we definitely need to confirm everything. Make sure that you understand if it's a PAC meeting or a blue and gold, and discuss time. Make sure that they understand we're not going to take more than 5 to 8 minutes or so to do the presentation. We'd like someone from the unit, a Cub Master, committee chair, scout master, maybe even the chartered organization rep to introduce you. And then we have some of those people there to accept the charter presentation that night as well. Excuse me. A couple other things we always want to check is, make sure we have the right location, the right time. Make sure you know the door to go into, right? How many of us have been to PAC meetings and they go in door 37 around the back of the school? So we want to confirm all of those types of things ahead of time, just so you aren't walking around the school or walking around the church trying to find the right door. All right, then for the actual presentation, we did include a script, and we've spent quite a bit of time on this and had several people working on it. The script is basically how we want everything to be presented that night. However, I would say that we want it to be your presentation. We want you to really be a part of it and share some of your. Oh, we got a little back up there. Make sure that you share some of your stories, a little bit of information about you, and there's a couple places here in the script where it says to do that. I'm going to hit the highlights of the script. I'm not going to read the entire script to you, but want you to understand it. So we have a unit leader introduce us, and then introduce yourself. This is where you can tell the unit where you come from. You're a volunteer, just like all of them and all of the parents there that night. Tell them a little bit about our council, how many kids we're serving. We're serving just about 11,000 kids each year, and we have about 35,000 or 3,500 volunteers. I wish it was 35,000, 3,500 volunteers. We want them to know a little bit about some of the advancements, and we have 289 Eagle Scouts last year, and we're providing scholarships and camperships and assistance like that. We have thousands of scouters and parents and community members participating in all kinds of events throughout the year. And make sure that they understand a little bit about the the council fee. We have a little bit in there about the council fee and what's included in that. And then we'll talk a little bit about program. And for the program, the big part here is to make sure that they understand about camping. And we do have a little bit in here about, you know, training and district activities. Camping is the bulk of it. And the reason we spend so much time on camping is because that's what kids tell us they join our program to do. We find that in Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA and all other programs and levels. It is probably the best retention tool we have to keep kids involved in our program. So it's really important that we make sure that each of these units know what those opportunities are. And we have lots of opportunities. There's lots of flexibility and a lot of different options for them as well. So the script will actually go into a couple different segments here. So when you see the script, it's really not as long as what you'll see over the 4 or 5 pages. There's a lot of things that are specific either to a Cub Scout pack or to a troop. So in the program section and where we talk about camps, there's some specific information about the day camps, and Zach may have that in there, but I'm going to just show the Wild Wild West day camp flyer. We'll have those available and some other information. And then if you're talking to a troop, we're going to talk about our options, our 2 partners for Scouts BSA resident camp. We have Bear Paw and Pfeffer. We have a couple flyers for them. We're actually going to work on putting it into a smaller version. It'll be a folded version that'll have 4 pages, but it'll have both of our resident camp partners for the summer. All the dates and information are going to be on there and really make sure that they know what's going on there. We'll also be able to talk about the CBT or Camp Big Timber Merit Badge program that we'll be running all summer. And then, you know, on the Cub Scout side, we'll have family camps and day camps and all those different opportunities as well. So there's a lot of things for us to touch on there and talk about. Even in the Scouts BSA, we talk about some of the leadership workshops we're going to run at Camp Big Timber this summer, and of course our NYLT course that we'll be running as well. I think it's, again, it's just, we have some troops that aren't as familiar with some of these different programs as maybe others are, and it's good for us to remind them of those. After we hit on program, then we're going to do the charter presentation. And again, the charter presentation is broken into a couple different areas. It's kind of a neat presentation that we put in here. We actually ask different groups to stand up and kind of take a you know, a charge to serve the unit and to help out the scouts in the unit. So we have some general information, but then we ask the committee to come forward. We ask all the den leaders to come forward for the packs. And then for the troops and crews, we ask them to have their youth stand up and be a part of that, and then also the leaders as well. And then there's a charge to the parents at the end. You know, we ask the parents to stand, and as parents, they're expected to be willing and active helpers to provide the unit with an outstanding program, attend parents' meetings, and assist with the needs of the unit. We all need that, right? All of us that have been involved in a pack or a troop. So I think this is another one of those unique things we'll be able to do with these presentations, is to make sure we tell the parents that we're asking for their help to help their own unit, to help their kids in any way they can. They don't necessarily have to be a den leader or scoutmaster or anything like that, but they can, you know, help drive to a camp out or help put together the blue and gold banquet. Then we ask the chartered organization representative or the institution head to come up, and we present the charter to them and make sure that they have that and they'll be able to display it at the church or school or wherever they are. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that'll be a neat thing. I think units will like it. And then just the closing. And the closing, again, is just to say thank you and to remind them how important all of them are to the scouting movement. It takes all of them to really help us grow our program. And that starts right there in their own unit, growing their program, maintaining a quality program, making sure that they're taking care of the needs of their scouts and families right there. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We'll run through the entire presentation, touch on all those points, and then if the parents have questions and the unit's okay with you taking those questions, that would be appropriate at that time as well. Some of the units may have a pretty tight time schedule if they're at a Blue and Gold or Pinewood Derby or something, and maybe they'll have us go off to the side and we could take questions afterwards, and parents and family members can come up and ask us those questions. Support materials, let me talk a little bit about that. So I talked a little bit about our camp promotional information. We want to have those as leave behinds and be able to leave them for the unit so they can pass them out to families and make sure that, again, they have their questions answered. We're working on the 2022 council highlights. Those are almost done. I apologize we didn't have those done for tonight, but we'll have those done next week, and we're putting those into a flyer or leave behind that we can leave with the unit as well. Again, just important, I think, to make sure they feel proud of what they're a part of. We've got a great council. We've really come out of this pandemic in better shape than most councils and better than a lot of youth serving organizations in our area. So something we all want to be proud of, but it took all of them and all of you. So again, we're going to say thank you and make sure they know about the great things that the Three Fires Council is doing and each of your districts are doing as well. And then last but not least, that charter certificate, we want to make sure that we have that. One other thing I wanted to just mention here is when you touch base with the unit, it would be good for us to ask them if there's something they want us to address, right? Would they like to spend a little bit more time on NYLT, or maybe tell the unit a little bit more about the Order of the Arrow? Maybe they haven't had many active people in the Order of the Arrow for a couple of years. Let's find out what they're looking for. Again, we can provide that service to the units and give them a little bit of information. We'll try to ask that up front when we confirm everything. So if there's something you're not comfortable with or you don't know about, we can, the district team can help get you some more information about a specific need, or we can send someone along with you to a presentation to address a specific need that the unit has. You have any questions?
Yeah, we've been getting a couple of good questions that I think we've answered. Okay. In the chat, just clarifying some things about program and what's included in a council fee and that kind of stuff. Okay. And that's probably good because you may get some of those questions. Absolutely. Doing these presentations, right? What is included and what's not included.
Yep, that's good. Okay, so we'll make sure that you have all that. If you have questions, work with your district teams and let us know questions that you have. Again, we want you to have the information and be able to answer any questions from the units, and want you to have some fun with this as well and have a positive experience.
And then just talking about kind of timeline for units, the goal to have the bulk of them done by March, but we know some units will do Blue and Golds into April and May. We'll kind of be doing them throughout that period, but
yeah. And again, we'll be working with each of the district teams. If we have a unit that requests one in May or June, we're gonna do that. And if you're available to do those, we'll work with you on that. Otherwise, we'll make sure we get someone there. But again, we're gonna try to do what the units need us to do and provide that service. Again, we want to get out to as many units as we can and say thank you and make sure that they are aware of all of our programs and services that we're providing to the unit. It's I think really important. This will be a great thing for us to do as we come out of the pandemic. We really showed really strong recovery last year in most of our units. Our retention this recharter cycle is almost 80% youth retention. and that is, the national average for Boy Scout councils across the country is about 67%. In good years, we're usually around 70, 71%. Last year, I think we were at 64%. So to be up around 78.5% right now, 79% is outstanding. And that just speaks to the quality programs that our units are running right now. And we want to get out and tell them they're doing a great job. Keep it up. And here's some more resources that you can provide. Any other questions?
Little discussion about the materials and the leave behinds. And I'm just mentioning that those will be available here at the office, but we will make sure that you get the stuff that you need for the presentations that you have agreed to do.
Yep. And I'm going to put that on the district teams. So we'll have information here. So the professional staff and the volunteer leads on this will make sure that we are connecting with you before a presentation, so you have enough materials for those presentations.
And then going back to just the conversation about council fee and the programs that are included in that and stuff, having that clearly delineated. So those leave behind sheet and stuff that has that. So
yeah, we'll do that. We really want to make sure that they understand everything for, all the district activities are included. And one really good thing that we can let the units know, and something I think has been misinterpreted a little bit, is they can go to any of the district activities too. So if you're in Potawatomi district and the Camporee and Chippewa works out better, you can go to that. There's some limitations with attendance on some events, and we do need people to register so that we can plan for food or patches or whatever program supplies we need to. So we do need people to register, but they have a lot of different options. And your district activities teams are really doing a great job to try to spread out the events across the district. We don't want to just have them at the south end or the north end or whatever the case may be. We're trying to spread those out, and we also are trying to make sure they represent all the different programs. So we're not going to do just Cub Scout events. We have Cub Scout events for Scouts, BSA, Venturers, older Scouts, and maybe some events that are open to all of our programs and all the families as well. And then rank advancements. So all the cloth rank advancements are included now in the fee. The Eagle kits are included. Training for adult leaders. We want to make sure that everyone takes advantage of that. And we have good trained leaders that helps us again with quality programs and retention. There's the things that we don't talk too much about, but all the insurance costs that are covered, some of the registration costs and different things that go into those district events as well. So we'll make sure we have all those listed on that sheet. All right, well, let me just wrap everything up and just say thank you again. I'm pretty happy with the turnout tonight and very proud of the group that's on tonight, and just thank you so much. I was saying hi to a bunch of you and looked at the people that were online. All of you are already doing several scouting jobs and doing lots of things, and hopefully you have a little bit of fun with this, but you're all the ideal people to be going into units and talking about how great our program is, and to say thank you to them as well. So thank you again for volunteering. We appreciate you helping us with this. We think this is going to be a really important service that we provide to our units, and presenting those charters will be a pretty neat thing this year as well. If you know of any other volunteers out there that you think would be great ambassadors, let them know about the training tonight, and see if you can't ask them to do a couple presentations. We'll have this presentation available online. We recorded it. We can send it out. We can also sit down with them one-on-one and make sure that they're comfortable with everything and comfortable with the script as well. So, send them through your district teams, get them recruited. We could use a bunch more people and be able to really get the units registered for these presentations. If you know of units that you're affiliated with or associated with, or maybe a commissioner for, encourage them to sign up for these presentations too. Let them know what we're looking at, and we'd love to have them participate in that as well. Thank you again, everyone. Really appreciate all that you do for scouting, and thank you for all that you do to help us grow this great program of ours. Have a great night.